Yo! And we're back. It's the one and only Smooth Baby here. And today I'm joined by, a legend. I can't even describe it, man. Yo, the one, the only, Paul Wall, baby. What's good?
What it do, baby? What it do?
Now, before we get into Paul, real quick, Paul, I got a co-host today joining me. I don't normally get co-hosts on here, but I thought it was important to have him on here. I got my man, Anthony Sanchez, a.k.a. Wheelchair Poppy. Do you mind telling the audience a little bit about your story before we get into the interview, bro?
So back in 2014, I suffered a motorcycle accident which left me paralyzed from the chest down. Just like anyone that goes through something life-changing, I went through depression, gained a bunch of weight, just feeling sorry for myself. I thought life was over, but I knew God had a bigger plan for me, and I stayed true. Like Paul says, stayed true. And I worked hard. I got in the gym, lost over 60 pounds from a chair. And now I'm a model, an actor, got a couple brand endorsements. So whatever you're going through, man, never give up, man. I'm living testimony to that. So enough about me. Let's get into the legend right here, man.
Oh,
Paul
man.
Wall,
Hey,
baby.
yo, I hit you up and I was so excited because, look, I've been saying this now for a while. Paul, I know you hear it all the times that you're a legend, but the truth is, man, I've said this so many times. I've advocated that I truly believe that Paul Wall should be the mascot of Texas.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
No, but man, honestly speaking, look, I shared this story before on Twitter. I don't know that you even knew this, but in 2005, right? Because I know you could relate. We were talking about, get your mind correct and what that meant to us in our generation, right? But in 2005, I recalled going to an autograph session and waiting an hour and a half to meet Paul. So years later, to be able to work with Paul and to be here today, after all this time, and to still see you doing sold out shows like the show you did last night, man, it's a testament to how great you really are, man. And I want to give you your flowers and let you know that you truly are a legend. And
Thank you. Flowers smell nice. They smell good.
Legendary for real. Me too. Like growing up in high school, get your mind correct and People's Champ, all that stuff, that influenced me. So to be able to be jamming them with my boys and listening to them, I dedicated a girl to one of my first serious girlfriends. So to be able to be interviewing with you is dope, bro.
That's
so it's a pleasure, bro.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
happy to be
Yes,
here,
sir,
man.
yes, sir.
Happy to be here with my boys.
Let's get it. All right, well, Paul, how did it get started? When did you get bit by the bug? What was it that made you want to get into music? Like when it all started, bro?
I always loved music, especially hip hop music. That's what all my friends listen to. All my neighbors, anybody, this is what our music of our generation that spoke to us was hip hop. But when I look around, there weren't professionals in hip hop. There weren't professional rappers or professional CEOs. We did have some like, Jay Prince or like Tony Draper, but they were like mythological figures, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, Jay Prince was larger than life to us, and it wasn't like, you can't just go apply to be a rapper at the record label, So for me, wanting to be a professional rapper was like, I thought I had about as much chance going to the NBA as I did to be a professional rapper. But when I looked at like, people who've been doing it for a while, this was their job, hip hop. And I looked at what jobs do they have in hip hop. It was a DJ. It was either the promoters or the DJs. So that's how I got into it, was thinking, okay, I can't be a rapper, because nobody's a rapper, just for people on TV, just like movie stars, it's like, I'm not gonna be a movie star. It's just something you see on TV that, it's not an actual, path or career, but being a DJ was something I saw, okay, I could, if I find a way, I saw an actual career path for that. There wasn't a college for rappers, you know what I'm saying? But being a DJ was, you learn how to DJ, you get you a couple clubs going, you put mixtapes out. A lot of DJs were also producers, and the DJs, I saw them as, they would play dope music. And the dopest DJs had the most obscure, likes in music. It wasn't just mainstream. They had their favorite artists, or they, in hip hop, it's like, you don't want everybody listening to what you listen to. So if I got an artist that I listen to, and I'm trying to tell you about, hey, you know about this person, you know what I'm saying? You're like, nah, I don't know about it. Oh man, you feel proud of the artist that you're a fan of,
for sure.
And I feel like that's what the DJs would do. They were in service to the artists a lot of time, where they would play the artist music, promote the artist music. And even though the artists would I didn't see artists come and show a lot of respect to the DJs, which I never understood, because I would think, well, these are people playing my music.
Putting
Of
you
course,
on.
yeah, I want to be friends with all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But you know, but anyway, that's how I got started, is promotion and DJing.
Well, so we'll get to that in a second. But when you mentioned some of the artists that inspired you, and you said that you would listen to some of these artists, who were those artists that you can recall?
Lil Keke was always my favorite. A lot of other Texas artists like UGK, you know, all the Rap-A-Lot artists, you know, Ghetto Boys, everybody, you know, from Rap-A-Lot. But a lot of Bay Area artists too. E40 was always one of my favorites, you know what I'm saying? Even to this day, you know, my favorite artists are, you know, still underground and still like from different. Rich the Factor from Kansas City is one of my favorite artists I like to listen to. You know, the Jacket, rest in peace, Mob Figures, Hustler, Andre Nicotine, all from the Bay Area, you know, but just places that weren't like mainstream cities where, you know, like, especially when I growing up in the 90s, it was New York and LA.
Yeah.
Everything else, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically it.
No, absolutely. So when we were talking about the pathway to a career, right? You're talking about, you know, kind of going through being a DJ and doing promotions. You know, it's been obviously well documented. You used to do promotions for Cash Money, matter of fact, right? Did you ever do it for No Limit as well? Or was it,
Yeah.
How did that work? How did that happen?
Man, I was 14 years old, too young to get in the clubs, but I'd still go hang out in the parking lot, hang out in the parking lot, and I'd see people passing out flyers or the people that worked for the record labels, and I just thought that was the dopest, coolest job, you know, to do that. And a lot of the people doing the promotions, they were out there working, but you know, they're not trying to go hit up all the cars in the parking lot. And, you know, I had a couple of people that really took me under their wing. My boy 5'4", my boy Lump, my boy Ace. Lump handled the priority accounts, all the Cash Money accounts. You know, Ace did the Def Jam accounts. So it would be basically talking about the two staples of hip hop in the 90s and early 2000s, you know, Def Jam and anything on priority. So I had easy access to the vinyl it was like, it was multi-beneficial because I was doing it because I love to do it, but also if you, as a DJ, it's different than it is now. Now you push a button and you play a song. You type in something and instantly you can play it, even if you don't have a song. If someone says, hey, can you play this song? I never heard it. How you spell it? I don't know. You just guess and then it pop up. You can play it instantly. Yeah. But in those days, it was vinyl. You know, it was 1,200 turntables, you know, the Technique 1200s. And if you wanted to play a song, you had to have a vinyl. You couldn't play it from a button. You couldn't even play it from a CD. There were no computers to play from. It was just of the vinyl. And how do you get the vinyl? You got to search. You either got to get it direct from the record label, be on a promotion team, or you go to somebody who press up their own vinyl, and you know, because there would be some promotional companies that would press up the, like, you know, 6 songs that are hot in the streets, or maybe regional hits that, you know, in Texas we can't get, but in Atlanta they got it. You know, and the only way to get it is go to Atlanta to get it. Well, there'll be like a multi-vinyl where, you know, it'll be white label, somebody just basically bootleg the songs on vinyl. It'd be for DJs. But, you know, doing promotions got me access to the vinyl. And then when I had access to the vinyl, well, now I got a nice, you know, Rolodex of music I can play to DJ.
Do you feel that aspect of the music business is like a lost art now, like with actual physical promotion? And because, you know, now with the internet and social media, everything's so easy and accessible, and like, you know, I don't know that a lot of people like really put in that groundwork, you know. And it, going back to the DJ thing, I remember probably around 2010 or 2011, I've shared the story with you before, but I was in the studio with you. And you're like, bro, you know, why don't you ever go out there and just be a DJ? As much connections as you have, you could just clean up the DJ circuit out here. And I remember that because I was like, you being a DJ, but like, just, do you feel that's a lost art? And how important was that in you building your resources and relationships?
You know, I came from the era where you really had to put in physical legwork and you had to earn respect across the board, no matter what it is you were doing. You could maybe fake it a little bit till you make it, but the people that were faking it, you know, you could tell that they didn't have the authenticity, and they, you know, it was obvious, you know what I'm saying? But the era where you had to put in the physical legwork, if I want to talk to somebody in Ohio, I got to drive to Ohio. You know what I'm saying? And you better hope you know somebody, or you just gonna randomly walk around, just dry talking to people, whatever. But that was the era we came from. So now there's definitely a lot more tools at our disposal. There's the internet and everything that goes along with it, all the digital space, everything, you know. But you know, of course, with our phones as well, and just all the different various social medias that target different demographics or different age groups or whatever. So if I want to reach a younger audience, I'm gonna go to this. If I want to reach an older audience, I'm gonna go to that. Whatever. If I want to be cool, I'm gonna go on Instagram. If I want to sell tickets to my show, I'm gonna go on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? If I want to build my future fan base, I'm gonna go on TikTok. Whatever. So there's a lot of tools at our disposal now, but those ways where you had to really earn it and build up your Rolodex, your network of people, by proving to them that you're not trying to use them, by being a man of your word and
just being an asset. You know what I mean? Like being of use. You know what I mean? Being of value.
Bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
For sure. So see, I think that's kind of how you mentioned that you eventually met Michael Watts, right? And you talked about in the past. You've told me that you wanted so badly to be part of like the mixtapes, and you wanted to rap on one of those.
Yeah.
And that was your goal. How did that actually happen?
Man, my success story of making it in the Swisher House is something that can correlate to anything you're trying to do in life. I wanted to rap with the Swisher House was the hottest record label or mixtapes in my neighborhood. I grew up on the north side of Houston. Houston is a screwed up city, so the south side generally ran Houston. You know what I'm saying? The music that came from the south side was the music that was on. And if you wanted to come up on the north side, it wasn't that many avenues. The Swisher House was one of the few avenues. But I look at hip hop or my success story as the Swisher House is a house. Everybody want to get in the house. Everybody want to come in through that front door and have somebody, open your door from you when you're at the curb, and then open the door when you walk in, and security, hey, get back. Everybody want that red carpet access, that curbside service to get into the house. But I can't tell you how to do that. I didn't come into the house that way, and I've never met anybody who did. But if you're trying to come up, that's what people think. You see the success and you just assume it's a, Cinderella story of success. But the way I got into the house was I waited in line at the front door. I kept getting turned away. I saw somebody go in the back door. I tried to get in the back door, but it wouldn't open all the way. I wouldn't fit. So I had to sneak in the garage. I had to come through the back door or side, one of the other side doors, or, sneak in through a window. That's how I got into the house. So for me, I wanted to rap. I wanted to rap with the Swisher House. But everybody on the north side of Houston wanted to rap with the Swisher House. So the line to get in was around the corner, And Michael Watts, OG Ron C, they, I would see them. I went to church with OG Ron C's grandmother and his mom, so I knew his family already. Matter of fact, OG Ron C's cousin is the one who gave me the name. Shout out B Sykes. He gave me the name Paul Wall. So I knew him for a long time. His grandma's mama. They used to always say, "Hey, better watch him. Don't let him go too far into the world." They kind of like held him responsible. If I was doing something crazy or reckless, they'd call him and cuss him out. So he'd always make sure I was, in line and staying in line and everything, not doing nothing crazy. But I would see people who would beg Michael Watts to Ron C to rap, and everything would be cool. But as soon as you ask, "Hey, can I get on a mixtape?" It'd be like, "Oh man, another rapper."
Yeah.
And they were like, after that, it was like they wouldn't give you the time of day.
Yeah.
So it'd be like, man, how do I rap on a Swisher House tape without asking? Because I know if I ever ask, that's it. They're going to cut me off,
Yeah.
So I came in as a DJ and as a promoter. I said, man, Watts, Ron C, how can I promote for y'all? What can I do? Because no one wanted to pass out flyers.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to rap.
Nobody want to do the groundwork.
Right.
Yeah.
You passing out flyers, they looking at you like you a scrub. But I didn't feel like a scrub for passing out flyers. I felt like I was a part of something. And I looked at it long term, like I'm planting a seed here. I'm going to earn my way in. I'm going to work my way in. I don't know how long it's going to take. Is it going to be a month? Is it going to be a year?
Yeah.
But regardless, I'm a part of something that I really believe in. So I really do. When I'm promoting, I'm not promoting it for ulterior motive. I'm promoting it because I really do want this to be a success. I do believe in the artist and the record label that I'm promoting right here. I was blessed to be able to, do promotions for Def Jam, Cash Money, No Limit, and Swisher House.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was, it was easy to believe in those artists, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But still, it was something that I was a part of. And then once I was doing promotions, it was like, I DJ too. And they're like, damn, you DJ too? Okay. And I would DJ parties here and there. And that's the other thing for me, DJing, is I had the opportunity to play any music I want to play, not just what's on the radio, but what do I want to listen to? And when I'm in the club or I'm in the park, and I started DJing because I would throw my own parties. That's the only way I could DJ.
Yeah.
No one was gonna book me to DJ, you know. So if I throw my own party, you know what I'm saying, and even if I gotta let everybody in free, it's gonna be popping. And they're gonna be like, "Damn, that party was popping. And you DJ too." And, you know, so that's kind of how it was. It was just I just gave myself the opportunity.
And so when did he say you could rap? When was he like, yo, get on this song?
I love Cash Money, man. I love Manny Fresh Beats more than any. He was my favorite producer. Still is, man. Probably one of my favorites, man. Manny Fresh, man, so dope, bro. And I would never hear Swisher House rappers rap on Cash Money beats.
Yeah.
So I always wonder, like, man, and every time a tape come out, a new Swisher House mixtape, I'd be like, man, are they rapping on this? Are they rapping on that? Man, they not. What are they? Oh man, why they not rapping on Cash Money beats? So one day I asked Michael Watts. We were outside a store in Studiowood in Houston, Texas, and I was pulling up to the store to put posters up, bring whatever promotion I was doing. Michael Watts was pulling up to drop off new mixtapes, you know, and I saw him. I was like, "Oh, what's up, Watts?" You know, we talking for a minute. I asked him. I said, "Hey, Watts, how come y'all don't ever nobody rap on the Cash Money Manny Fresh beats?" And he said, "Well, usually the artists pick what beats. They say, hey, I want to rap on this or that, and nobody picked the Cash Money beat." So I was like, "Man, you need to tell them rap on." Man, he said, "Well, what Cash Money is your favorite beat?" And I was like, "Man, that Cash Money is an army. That BG Cash Money is an army." And he was like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah." And he started like beatboxing, making the beat like on some real hip hop shit. He started, beatbox, bum 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 bum. He just started beatboxing it. And he just said, "Well, what would you say?" He knew I rap, cause see, when me and Chamillionaire were rapping, this is what Michael Watts always taught me. The Swisher House wasn't a record label; it was a promotion company.
Yeah.
And they would promote parties, throw parties, promote mixtapes, whatever. It was a promotion company. So even as an artist, if I'm rapping on the Swisher House tape, the purpose is to promote my upcoming album, promote a concert coming up, promote merch, whatever I got. The purpose of rapping on the Swisher House, the purpose wasn't to get famous and be a famous rapper.
Gotcha.
It was to promote something else. So Watts would always teach me that, hey, anytime you come on something, it's all about promotion. So me and Chamillionaire already rapped. Like at the time we were a group, we were called the Sleepwalkers. Me, Chamillionaire, and another one of our homeboys, PKT. And so we would, we'd have, hey, we got a new song. We'd, try to ask them to play our songs. And, these would be like high school parties. We were in high school. So these were high school parties that they would be DJing, and we'd be begging them to give us a shout out or play our song. And every now and then they feeling good. Yeah, I'm going to play a song. And they play it. And we would be just so hyped they playing our song. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, it was the greatest feeling on earth. So he knew we rapped, and we'd always share our music with him. Like, hey, we got some new music. But we were like, upcoming independent rappers. And he just showed us love, mentored us here and there, gave us advice. And I always like the line, I try to never cross it of asking him to put me on. Like, hey, give me a shot, let me do this. Because I knew, like I said, everybody trying to get on. So me DJing, it was a way that I could play my own music and a way that I could be affiliated with the Swisher House. At the time, it was DJ Big Red, Ron C, Michael Watts, myself. And we were like Swisher House. And as time went on, Mankind, a few other DJs would come around, but, it became a part of it. But at the time, that was the way. And all the parties I DJ'd were high school and college parties. Because like I said, those were that's the only time I get booked. But when I'm DJing the parties, I'd find a way. I'd rig up a CD player before there were CDJs in it. I'd find a way, to play a CD. And people would always be like, man, how are you playing a Slim Thug freestyle at the party? Because no one else had ever done that.
Yeah.
And I got a little CD player rigged up to make it work. But that was my way to represent, because I believe in Slim Thug. I'm Swisher House shit. I want to play it. But that's how they kind of allowed me into the house, allowed me an opportunity. And then when Michael Watts is like, okay, how would you rap on the Cash Money beat? This is my audition right here? Shit, I started freestyling right there. And, and I'm just thinking like, man, this is cool, I get a shot. Not thinking nothing ever gonna come from it. And he say, what you doing? Come on, let's ride to Swisher House. Let's go put it down right now. Shit, I hop in the Impala with him, and we playing Cash Money beats all the way there. And we pull up, and he set it off, and then Lil Ron come over. Lil Ron lived a few houses down on the same street. And Lil Ron was like, I wasn't number like 17, 18, but Lil Ron was like 13, you know what I'm saying? So he was like he was a lot younger. So even then, he was like, yeah, this my, I grew up with his mom and dad, and you know, they live down the street, and now he raps. So he the newest Switch House artist, Lil Ron. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, that's what's up. You know, meeting him, and he was like, I already knew a bunch of the Switch House artists, but Lil Ron was like one of the ones that I would always see because he lived right next to the Switch House. So you'd always see him when you go over there. And I'm over there. I do a couple. I rapped on Bling Bling and Cash Money Is an Army. And
it was a rap.
Yeah, it was a rap.
That's it. The door wide open at that point.
Wide open after that.
We see, and I want to talk about this, and I know that you can share your passion for this, but we talked about Get Your Mind Correct and how much it meant to us. And this story that you just shared right now reminded me of the song, which is probably my favorite song that you've ever recorded, right? And at least for me, because I still listen to this day, which is The Other Day.
Yeah.
And you talk about that. But let's talk a little bit about this phase, because I know we kind of skipped over how you met Chamillionaire and all that good stuff, but Chamillionaire just recently did a show a couple weeks ago,
in San Antonio,
right?
right?
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird because he hadn't recorded in a while.
50 Cent, I think 50 Cent was there.
Yeah, but Ant was asking me a little while ago, what was it that you wanted to know?
I said, man, I need to know, is there any chance that there's a Get Your Mind Correct 2 ever? Will that ever happen?
I mean, it might be recorded already. We might be just waiting to drop it.
That's what I'm saying. It could be recorded already, but is there any chance that would ever come out?
There always is a chance, but in my mind, I think like strategic. First of all, I met Chamillionaire and we grew up on the same street. I knew him since I was like 3, 4 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
Did he? Yeah. Was he always a rapper? Were you always like?
Nah.
Was that always like the plan? Like, oh, we're gonna be a rap duo.
But we did. I mean, I remember we did have like our own like little breakdance group. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were trying, but it was never like a reality. It was kind of similar, like you make the junior high basketball team, but you're not thinking you're gonna play for the Mavericks one day. But some people do. Some people believe all the way, and you could tell, man, that fool ain't never, no matter how much he practiced that jump shot, that fool is never making it to the NBA.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how I was. I love basketball, but I knew no matter how hard I work at this, it just, man, that reality was just like, man, I don't know. They tell you can do anything, be anything, you work hard enough, but I just don't think I'm gonna make it to the NBA. No matter if I work at this every second of every day, I don't know. But with music, it was something where I didn't care how I was a part of it. I just wanted to be a part of music. Right. I wanted to be a part of hip hop, all of this. So with Chamillionaire, it was kind of similar. We had similar passion, like all the same interests, you know what I'm saying? And so rapping was something that I don't think I would have ever got into if it wasn't for him. But because it was something we do at the the lunch table on school bus.
Start freestyling.
We freestyle, yeah. So they do it. Shit, he can do it. I can do it. We best friends. We live down the street from each other. Why can't I? And then that's how it wired me up to continue with it. But with the Get Your Mind Correct Part 2, I mean, like I said, I think of how it would, what would happen. What are Get Your Mind Correct Part 2 is the last domino falling.
Right.
What are all the dominoes before that they gotta fall to make that happen? And I think it is a possibility, but, thank God Chamillionaire balling, man, he got his money up. But I really think it would have to be something unfortunate to happen. Like if, I get a near-death experience, you know what I'm saying? Or if, God forbid, Chamillionaire lose all his money on Bitcoin or something and he just go broke, he might call me in and be like, hey, bro, it's time to drop. It's time for that to Get Your Mind Correct Part 2.
Well, I see he was featured on, I forgot who it was, but he just featured on the song. Something that just dropped.
He still rap every night because he always be quick to tell me, hey, I ain't retired yet. I'm semi-retired, but I ain't retired yet. But at the same time, he like, it's like, he think about the same way I talk about the last domino, whatever. Yeah. He think about, okay, if I do this verse for you, you're a rapper, you want me to do a verse for you, and I'm your favorite rapper ever growing up, all this and that, and you just look up to me, and then I do the verse for you, but I don't live here. I live, I'm moving around doing this and that. If I do the verse, you're gonna ask me to do the video.
Right.
I can't do the video. Or if I do the video, what about the other 20 people who asked to do a video that I can't do? They're gonna be mad. Why you choose him to do the video, not me? Right, I'm a bigger fan of you than him. I know you longer than him. Why you do him, not me? And that's how he look. He be like, man, if I do the song, you gonna want the video. I can't do the video. And you say, yeah, it's cool, don't do the video. And you say it now. But as soon as you get the song, you gonna be like, hey, I see you gonna be here next week. All I need is 30 minutes. This is 30 minutes, you know, and this is how it goes.
Man, look, I heard the record with you and Toby. And I thought that was the sign of hope right there. I was like, it's gonna happen. Yeah. It's finally gonna happen.
Even with that, we was because you know, it was 3 verses. It's me, then Toby, and me and Toby back and forth. But originally it was like me and Toby, and we're like, we're gonna do the last verse. And let's see if we can get Chamillionaire on here.
Yeah. And I had people texting me like, hey, Cam finna get on it, he's coming back.
That's why man, he couldn't get on it. But at the end, I was like, man, we're gonna call him out a little friendly way. You know, we're gonna call him out just to keep people hype. But even then, like,
he posted it. That's all. Brother.
He was like, oh man, y'all smart, but I can't get on it because you know whatever he had going on.
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. Every time I see his name pop up on my feed, like obviously he did the show. And me as a promoter, the first thing I was like, oh, I gotta get him a part again.
Yeah.
I think that's everyone thinks.
Oh man, when I joined Clubhouse, that was like the topic for like 3 hours straight. And I'm like, look, I'm gonna tell y'all, no disrespect to everybody. Chamillionaire is not doing to get your mind correct. So they having a whole meeting of the minds of how we gonna, hey, but if y'all do this for the 20th anniversary, all that's cool, Chamillionaire is not doing it. I'm down, he ain't down. He got too much money going on. Which we can all understand, like, you know, for him to want to do get your mind correct. Also, this is the thing. People like, you know, anybody who was like a part of our whole journey, the people who really want, like y'all, the people who really want Get Your Mind Correct Part 2 to come out. If it come out, you know, part of in your mind, the Get Your Mind Correct Part 1 was an era. Yeah. It was an era in hip hop.
Rap,
it was an era of me as an adult, a young adult. You know, like we're so different now than we were then. Our rap style is so different now than we were then. We don't want to do something and it'd be like a bullshit Get Your Mind Correct Part 2. You know, it's gonna be, I don't know.
Well, that's one of the greatest albums ever to come out of Texas, period.
Hey, thank
but
you,
I know y'all got some verses put up in the vault, man, that y'all can throw together. I know y'all. Cam is smart, so I know he's got some stuff in it.
Before we move on from Cam, though, I do want to ask, just on a personal and professional level, what has he meant to your life and your career?
Man, he, you know, me and him always were like a yin and yang. Like me being, you know, we were the good cop, bad cop, you know. Yeah. So when we came up, we didn't have a manager. The closest we had was Cat and Matt Hatter. That was the record label we were signed to. What up, Cat?
I love Hatter? Cat, man.
But yeah, even then, like, Cat would come on the road with us because he was the president of the record label. Yeah. But he really was like our unofficial manager, unofficial security, unofficial head of promotions, like, cause we didn't know what we're doing, and he's just like, okay, do this. He would drive. We were literally taking Cat's expedition. That was Cat's great expedition. We would ride. That was Cat's. Yeah. But you know, Cat was, you know, he put all that together. But other than that, we didn't really have management. So it was like, you know, I'm the one who was friendly with everybody, and Chamillionaire was the one who was like a hard ass, like, nope, we're not coming for that. You gotta give us more. And then they'd be like, man, tell Chamillionaire why he charging us all that. And then, hey, man, let me talk to him. You know, I was the good guy, he's the bad guy. But that's just how we were. You know, that was just the differences in our personality of how the opposites attract. But definitely, man, he had a huge effect on me in how they say iron sharpen iron. You know, me being with him, growing up with him, and me being at the birthing stages of hip hop for me. Like when hip hop was birthed, that seed was birthed into my body and my existence. He was there with me. So he was in the crib with me the whole time since we were born in hip hop, you know. So to be able to have somebody like that, you know, to work out with, you know, to run drills with, you know, whatever you sports like metaphor, all of that, that's how it was for us, where he was my workout partner. He was my sparring partner, all of that. And it was just, if he gonna get better, I'm gonna get better. If he get worse, I'm probably gonna get worse. So thank God I had somebody that was dope, you know, that made me better.
You said you thought he was the best, but he thought you was the best. So it's a tie.
Yeah. That's even then. It was like I you know, we had the idea like, okay, because that time too was you know, the battle rap. Battle rap kind of is something in Texas that's been like ancillary. You know, like it's not really in the there are battle rappers, but it's not a part of the Texas hip hop like it's a part of New York hip hop or, you know, various other places where they are all about battle rapping. Now, in this year, 2021, it's different. There are battle rappers in Texas that are all about that life. They got battles all over. They be underground and they be packed, wired up, just like you see on any other battle rap. But when we were coming up, I mean, if they were around, they were underground, you know, because we were underground. So if there was the battle raps like that going on, the battle rap battles, man, they were super underground. But, you know, when we had that line too, that was at a time when it was like the resurgence of battle rap in the mainstream. You know, everybody got diss songs about each other, and it was like, you know, what if I say something about you, but I like diss myself, kind of? And he was like, well, shit, no, don't say that. Well, all right, well, I'm gonna say it back then. You know, then that's why when he came with his verse,
yeah, that was
I thought you the best. It's a tie, I guess.
That's a tie, I guess.
You know what? I'm gonna segue the battle rap aspect, because right after you guys kind of parted ways, right? And I'm not gonna get into what went wrong. You know, let's just go straight into the emergence of Houston as a prominent force in hip hop, and when you guys became the faces. You know, you, Slim Thug, Chamillionaire, obviously Trey the Truth, Zero, and you guys just started running it, and Flip as well, right? There was this consensus amongst people that Houston was this, you know, iron fist, united power to the people, we together.
Yeah,
but I always felt that was such a false narrative.
It was.
Because I imagine how ultra competitive it was. I mean, you had Mike Jones out there, you had all these guys out there that were all doing their thing. And looking back, it's a run that really probably will never be replicated by most scenes, right? How competitive was it, and how much of, how would I word it to you, misconception of the fact that Houston was united during that time?
Oh, huge misconception. We hated each other. We were in competition with each other. Even amongst the Swisher House rappers, like, we might be cordial to an extent in front of other people, but it would be like, what's up? Like, you really kind of, you know, like there are different like cliques within the Swisher House, everybody, you know, and it was always a little like weird for me, because I was a fan of all of it, all of the cliques, all the other artists, and some of them I was friends with, like real life friends with. But then as soon as I became a Swisher House rapper, like they didn't want to have nothing to do with me, because I don't know if they felt like I was stepping on their toes or eating off their plate or whatever. But it was a few rappers in the Swisher House that didn't have nothing to do with us. They hated me and Chamillionaire, and we kind of felt the same, you know, but only because somebody hates you, you like, well, fuck it, I hate you too, you know. But but so like I say, it was always weird, because these are people that I'd be fans of. But you know, even within the, you know, Mike Jones, Slim Thug, Lil Flip, me, Chamillionaire, we were all like cool to an extent, but it was like a professional courtesy. But in each one of our minds, I thought I was the best. Chamillionaire thought he was the best. Slim thought he was the best. Mike thought he was the best. Flip thought he was the best. So, or Trey, Zero, anybody you can name, we all felt like we individually, personally were the best.
I think the music benefited from that too. I think the music did benefit from that.
Because when Slim come on there, Chamillionaire come on there, I'm not gonna let him outshine me with shit. I'm gonna come on there, you know, I'm gonna do my thing. But it's even to this day, it's always so weird when I leave Houston. Everybody in Houston says, man, Houston hate everybody, don't nobody get along. Everybody's always hating on each other, don't nobody, and they always blame the rappers that came before them. And it's the rappers before us fault, they didn't put us on, this and that. Where a rapper ain't put me on, a DJ put me on. You know, a CEO put me on. And I don't know no rapper that put other rappers on like that. You know, maybe fairy tale stories, but anybody I know who has had a successful career, they came because they worked their ass off, or a DJ put them on. Usually it was a DJ who put somebody on. You know what I'm saying? DJ Screw put the South Side on, Michael Watson put the North Side on. So it's like, you know, those are DJs, not rappers putting us on. But it always be, man, in Houston, man, y'all, the rappers don't want to look out for nobody. The rappers don't put nobody down. Ain't no unity in Houston. We need to stick together like Atlanta. We need to stick together like Florida. We need to stick together like LA or like New York. And then I go to New York, LA, Atlanta, Florida, all these places, they don't nobody get along. They all hate each other, and they telling us, man, we just need to stick together like y'all do in Houston. And it's like, man, I don't want to crush their dreams, but man, don't nobody in Houston stick together. It's all jealousy, crabs in a bucket.
When y'all did that, the Yahoo Mic Pass, all the Houston artists, was there tension there?
No, because that was just, you know, for fun. It wasn't, and even then, that wasn't like, it was like for fun. You know, if it would have been like the Jay-Z mic pass, then it might have been like, okay, yeah, we got to come with it. And it might have been a little tension. But, you know, if it would have been like a, you know, an XXL cypher, they didn't have those back then. But if it would have been, then maybe it might have been. But, you know, the Yahoo mic pass it was all in fun. But that unity is a huge misconception.
Absolutely.
I think once we all got successful though, like,
I think
it is now.
I think now it's different because you guys are just at a different point in your careers. Where
and none of us, like, I don't know if at the time, but now I don't feel threatened by any, you know, and they don't feel threatened by me, you know, and also us, we're all different artists, different people. So, us to go our individual paths to make it, I went the way I wanted to
Paved
go.
y'all's own lane.
Right.
Yeah.
Chamillionaire went his way, Slim went his way, and we all were going to the same destination, but we just we took our own routes.
But when it finally happened for you, so let's kind of get off of that for a second. When it finally happened for you, you finally get this, you start getting platinum records, you start really seeing the success. For you, going back to the days of you saying, man, I knew no matter how hard I tried, I would never be an NBA player, and there was no pathway to become a professional rapper. But now I'm a professional recording artist. Now I'm touring. How the hell did that feel for you at that time?
It feels the same way it feels right now. Like I'm gonna wake up. Like it's a dream. Like, how the hell did this happen? And me and Goo will talk about like, man, bro, how did this happen? And I mean, I can't say anything else other than the grace of God, but because this was something I prayed for every single day, still do. Worked hard for it every single day, still do. And so I still feel the same way. Like if I hear my song on the radio, it's like the same way when I first heard my song ever played on the radio. It's the same feeling, or when someone comes up to me or says something to me, whatever. And it's, there's different people from different generations that come up to me that like different things. Some people like the Toby song. Some people like the Pow Wow Chamillionaire. Some people want to hear, the Pow Wow Lil Kiki, that whatever. So it's always, what you might like might be different than what you might like, but regardless, it's still just an unbelievable thing to me where it's like, wow. Because it always, even me rapping in the Switch House back in the days, it was really only to further my DJ career. Because then, my website was djpaulwall.com.
I remember that.
So, it's like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, get on some mixtape, because DJ Screw would rap. You'd hear him rap every now and then on a song. And that's actually how we got Michael Watts to rap with us on Chopping Them Up Part 2, was because I said, hey, man, I know you ain't no rapper, but Screw rap sometimes, man. Why don't you come on here? Because I'm thinking in my mind, too, Michael Watts ain't never rapped on a Switch House tape, but if he rap on a flow and it's with me and Chamillionaire, that's gonna be like one of the most listened to flows because they want to hear Michael Watts rap. So like, shit, hey Watts, go on, get on here with us, man. We gonna get our listens up, get our streams up before the streaming. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, look, real quick, the name of the show is called Not the Beats Experience, and we want to emphasize along the experience aspect of your journey. What are some of the hardships that you recall kind of experiencing during your journey? How many no's you had to hear before you heard that yes, which you kind of already alluded to?
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to young aspiring artists that might be wanting to take this pathway? Granted, it is a different time now, but I think the logistics are the same. The hard work. What advice would you give?
Man, advice I give is keep an open mind. Because a lot of us feel like you see the destination and you think this is the only way I'm gonna get there. I know I'm gonna be successful. I know I'm gonna be it. And this is how it's gonna happen. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. And if anywhere along the way something don't go exactly as you envisioned it, sometimes we feel like it's a failure, or we're a failure because it didn't happen the fairy tale way, the way I said earlier, where we pull up in this curbside service and they opening the door and they rolling the red carpet out and they got the velvet ropes for us and they got security to get back, and that's how we get in the front door of the House of Hip Hop. And if it doesn't happen exactly like that, if they ask for your ID, you're like, fuck, I'm a failure. They asked for my ID, they didn't let me in. You're supposed to know I'm dope. And there's so many artists who feel like that. They feel like they're dope and I'm dope. You're supposed to know I'm dope, but it takes so much more to have a career in music than just to be a dope artist.
You gotta have that grind, right? That will.
That will, that grind, that all of that, bro. That not, finding a way. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna hear no, and sometimes the no is a no. Nah, that ain't it. Sometimes the no is just a light no, and you gotta push through it. It's just a naysayer. But sometimes the no is nah, that ain't it. Switch it up. Look at 2 Chainz when he was Titty Boy. Then when he became 2 Chainz and switched up, he always had the same rap style slightly, but when he really became 2 Chainz, he to the moon, you know what I'm saying? So it's, I would say you gotta, have an open mind of how to get there, but even more important, what has been the driving success factor for me, more than I would say anything, is just professionalism, treating this like a career. So whatever you do, whatever your job is, be professional about it. Show up on time, treat people with respect, stop trying to fuck everybody you see. You know, it's like these are things that people really need to hear and need to do. Everybody, you're a star, so you show up late, you do what you want. You know, you can't smoke in there, but you're gonna smoke anyway, you know, to get away with it. You can't sit on the couch, but you're gonna sit on the couch, stand on the couch anyway, just cause ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do, all that kind of shit. And one way or another, all of that stuff comes back and affects you, you know what I'm saying, in the long run. So I definitely think more than anything, my professionalism, treating this like a job and not treating it like a high school job that I don't want, that's only temporary, but treating this like this is my dream job. This is my career path that I want more than anything else, you know, other than playing professional baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was, hey, when I tell you I wasn't making it in the NBA, I definitely knew I wasn't making it in Major League Baseball. Couldn't throw, I couldn't hit a T-ball. Man, look, bro, hey, I knew, but that, you know, that would be my, if I could, any job, I want to play baseball. But rapping, being a professional, treating a professional with, you know, like I say, showing up on time, anything that you would do in a career, you know, that's what I would do. And I would think that, you know, the dream job is still a job. You still gotta work, you know what I'm saying? So this is my dream job, but I still gotta work. So my advice to anybody out there is, man, make sure you put in that work, you know what I'm saying? Keep an open mind and treat it like a job. If you want this, if it's a lick, that's the problem is I see so many artists or people in the music or the rap game, they treat it like a quick lick, a quick come up. And that's usually what it is. It's a quick lick. They hear now, hey, if you rob the plug, guess who not giving you the plug next time? The plug ain't giving you nothing. So, you know, so many people come into hip hop trying to rob the plug. And I stay down with the plug. You know, I hit 1,000 licks with my plug.
Yeah.
Shit, and that's what it was all about.
And I'll attest to that because I've seen your work firsthand so many times, and I've always told people, like, look, I've worked with hundreds of artists at this point in my career, and I've booked tons of shows. To me, you, to this day, are still probably the most fan-friendly artist that I've ever worked with. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the fact that you're still living the dream.
Right.
And it shows, man. So, you know, I've always respected that about you, you know what I'm saying? I guess now the only question I have is what's next? You know, like you've had an illustrious career, man. You're talking, at this point, as fast as it's flown, you're talking 20 years, man, 2 decades, you know, like, I mean, what is next? What do you want to do next?
I mean, hopefully it's more of the same. You know what I'm saying? You know, I look at, even in music, you know, there weren't, you know, when I was listening to hip hop or when I was a little kid listening to hip hop, there weren't 60-year-old rappers on tour, you know. Even mainstream everything said hip hop was a fad, it's a trend. You know, it was the stepchild of the music industry, you know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like the world was telling everybody, man, hip hop is cool now, but there's not a career. So for me, it was, you know, I don't know. I looked at who long term, what musicians. You know, you see the Eagles or Aerosmith or Willie Nelson's a great example because he's however old he is. You know, almost 100. I don't know how old Willie is, but he is who he is. He's not afraid to be who he is. Right. He's got a diverse fan base. Some of the fan base loves the things he's about. Some of the fan base hates the things he's about, but they all love him. You know, and you know, he's on tour with his family. He's got his son on tour with him, playing music with him, all kind of stuff. You know, these are things that I hope to be, I hope and pray that I'll be 80 years old, 90 years old on tour. And I got, you know, maybe my son will be my DJ or my daughter will be my hype girl or, you know, something like that. My wife will be running the merch table or something. Any aspect of this at all, you know, I hope, you know, I hope to include, I don't want to force my family into anything, you know, I'm not out here, you know, doing that, but I just hope to include people that I love, who I like to work with, you know, people that I love and respect. I hope they be with me till I'm 90 or 100. Yeah. So for them to be there, I got to treat them with, you know, like, I got to treat them like they're a partner or a valued employee. So, you know, it's going to be more. I'm going to keep putting out music. I'm going to keep touring. I'm going to keep doing all the extra things, you know, that I want to, you know, whatever. I'm going to have my own other, you know, companies that I'm a part of, whatever it's cannabis or clothing or whatever. I'm have every part of that. You might see a little TV show or movie here. I'm not the best actor, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I'm like the lovable, funny guy who like trips and falls in the movie or something, but
Hey man, you got grills on wheels, man. You got my man right here. You gotta
Yes,
give him a grill.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
If my boy's still performing at 80 a night, I got another wheelchair, bro. So
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
Hey, well look, I'm gonna wrap up there, Paul. Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Legend, one of the GOATs. And here's the thing about it, and I've said it again and again and again. I always give the example. I go, I could walk in with 5 rappers into a Walmart in Texas. It doesn't matter what 5, but if you're one of the 5, I honestly believe you'll be the one that everybody recognizes before everybody else.
But this is what they're gonna say. They're gonna say, man, you look like Paul Wall. They ain't gonna say, Paul Wall, what's up? They're gonna say, man, everybody tell you look like Paul.
No, but I mean, you, seriously, man, you truly are a legend. I appreciate everything you've done for me and for my career, and I appreciate you doing the show. Man, that right there is the one and only Paul Wall, baby. Y'all make sure to follow him on Instagram. Y'all already know what it is. Let's go.